everyone, it's me, Time Traveling Tom here. I'd like to welcome you to this awesome show today. In this segment, we will be visiting with some fabulous guests from ancient Egypt. So I must say, I am totally gobsmacked because I have a special guest waiting to join us today. He has traveled far and wide just to be here on our show, all the way from ancient Egypt. Now I'd like to welcome Pharaoh Ramses! Woo! Woo! Well, hello, Pharaoh Ramses. How are you today?
I'm very well. I'm a bit tired from the long journey I've had getting here from ancient Egypt.
Well, I'm just glad that you made it here today to talk to us about your reign.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
So, with our first question, can you please tell us your full name?
Well, my name is Ramses II. I've named it for my grandfather, Ramses the First.
So, can you tell us when and where you were born?
Well, I was born in 1303 BC in ancient Egypt.
And who are your parents?
Well, my father was the great Pharaoh Seti, and my mother was Queen Tuya.
Wow. So, about how long did you reign?
Well, over 66 years, from 1279 BC to, I believe, it was 1214 BC.
Wow, that's a long time, but still very, very cool.
Yes, very long.
So, when did you actually take the throne?
Well, my father became pharaoh when I was only 5 years old. So I grew up in the royal court very young and educated and was brought up as a leader.
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, yes it was. And I finally took the throne in my teens when I was Prince of Egypt. As a prince, I joined my father in his military campaigns. And at the age of 22, I led many of those battles.
So you started out very young, and were you very busy?
Well, yes, Tom, and that's what made me such a great leader.
That's cool. So can you tell me, Ramses, did you ever marry someone?
Yes, very common for pharaohs to have many wives, but two in particular. I was only 15 years old and married Nefertari and Isofret, who they were really my main wife. Nefertari, who ruled by my side, became a very power in her own right.
Wow. So when did you become a pharaoh?
Well, it happened when my older brother died. He was around 14 years old, and I was now in line to become the pharaoh of Egypt. At 25, my father died, and I was crowned pharaoh of Egypt in 1279 BC, and was also the third pharaoh of the 19th dynasty of Egypt.
Wow. So that's pretty awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I can tell you that I'm known as the greatest pharaoh of ancient Egypt. I'm one of the most powerful, influential pharaohs of Egypt, and been known as Ramses the Great.
Well, interesting. I did hear that about you, Ramses the Great, and I will always remember that. Anyway, I also heard that you were the most celebrated pharaoh of the whole Egyptian Empire.
Yes, I'm known for other great things because what I did for Egypt. I led several military expeditions into Levant, reasserting Egyptian control over Canaan, and I also led expeditions in the south and into Nubia.
Wow, that's incredible. Any battles that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, I think the Battle of Kadesh was probably my greatest accomplishment. This was the oldest recorded battle in history, and I returned home victorious and a military hero.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, it's really impressive, Tom, and I'm also known just as a great builder also. I've rebuilt many existing temples in Egypt and built many new structures. Abu Simbel is one of my most famous buildings. It has 4 huge statues of me sitting over 66 feet tall.
Wow, that's huge. And I also heard that you celebrated many said festivals.
Yes, let me explain. Said festivals are for pharaohs that have reigned for 30 years. And after 30 years, these festivals continue to take place every 3 to 4 years during a pharaoh's reign. I celebrated a jubilee of 14 said festivals during that entire reign. And during the festivals, it's a ritual that I am transformed into a god.
Wow, that's remarkable. So, one of my final questions to you is, did you have any children?
Oh, yes, I did. I had 96 sons and 60 daughters. And my first son later became ruler after me, Amur Kimseth. And remember, Tom, it's very common for pharaohs to have many wives and children at that time.
Okay, wow, that's just shocking. I mean, that's 156 kids in all. So, I mean, moving on, can I ask you when you ended your reign?
Well, I was 90 years old, and that was in 1214 BC.
Well, Ramses, we have learned so many interesting facts about you today, and I'd like to thank you for joining our show and for traveling all the way from ancient Egypt. So, audience, let's give Ramses the Great a big hand today. And I'd like to thank our audience, that's you, Mom. And I hope you enjoyed our Egyptian guest. And Traveling Tom says, see you next time when we bring you an Egyptian ruler. But wait, is it a man or is it a woman?